What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we are going to be rebuilding the Phoenix Suns, a team that has been to the finals in the past 2 seasons, but just can't get over that hump. And our goal today is to obviously get them their first championship in franchise history. This team does have quite a bit of talent on it. They're led by, in my opinion, the best shooting guard in the league in Devin Booker. Chris Paul is on this team, a little bit on the older side. We're going to try to get CP3 a ring, though, as well. The DeAndre Ayton saga this summer was an interesting one to me because they just matched the Phoenix Suns, the Indiana Pacers offer sheet, like almost immediately. I just don't know why they just didn't sign him to that. But he's here. That's the big three on this team. We got Mikal Bridges here as well, Cam Johnson, whole lot of talent, and we probably going to make a small move or two before year one. But this team's definitely already a contender. And finally, of course, if you guys have not yet subscribed to the channel, we'd greatly enjoy having you here in the community. So do me a favor, do that real quick. Of course, if you guys also have any other video ideas, let me know them down below in the comment section. As of course, we're going to do every current team. We're going to do all the throwback teams. Got a whole lot of rebuilds for you here in 2K23, and I'm super pumped to do them all. But without further ado, man, the Phoenix Suns are in a really interesting spot right now. Let's try to get them a championship. It is officially time to talk about this Phoenix Suns roster, what I think of it, what we are going to do with it, and all our plans here in general. So let's just get right into it. Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in NBA history, has never won a championship. We're going to try to get him one. He is 37. Makes me a little bit nervous, especially with 2K's regression system. But he should be good enough to be here for hopefully the whole video. We will see, though. We got Cameron Payne backing up CP3. It's not a bad backup option. He's here. We'll figure out what we're going to do with him. Devin Booker, best player on this team far and away. Super excited to have him here. Obviously has really proved himself. He's the cover athlete of 2K. And yeah, in my opinion, best shooting guard in the league. And I really don't think there's much debate anymore. So, Devin Booker's here. Obviously not going anywhere. We got Landry Shamet, Damian Lee, Frank Jackson. Really none of my favorite backup shooting guard options, but, you know, when your best player is a shooting guard, you don't really need the best backup shooting guard. We got Mikal Bridges here at the starting small forward spot. Obviously, tremendous defensive player. Really hoping he can remain on this team. Sometimes 2K is not the biggest fan of guys who are very defensive oriented and don't put up 20 plus points a game, but we'll see. We got Torrey Craig, not a bad backup option. We got Cam Johnson here as well, the UNC product, who I believe was drafted when he was like 22, 23 years old. And then Jay Crowder, who's actually in the midst of a lot of trade rumors right now. I don't know why he doesn't want to be in Phoenix. Maybe they kind of said we're not going to use you as much, but as a Celtics fan, I'd welcome Jay Crowder back with very much open arms. I love Jay's time. And when he was in Boston, I love Jay in general. Josh Kogi here as well. Somebody who, you know, probably could use an upgrade there. And then the center, obviously all the drama with DeAndre Ayton this summer. He signed an offer sheet with the Indiana Pacers, and then the Suns just matched it like a couple hours later. Really, really weird, but, you know, he's here, and he's obviously a really good center. We got Saric, Biyombo, and Jock Landale as well. We are going to make a couple trades. Let's get into them. I know it's not until 2027, but it is a first-round pick at the end of the day. Miami Heat want to give us one here for Damian Lee. He was not going to be in this rotation, so we're going to get their unprotected first in 2027. Obviously, only in a 3-year rebuild. We'll never actually see that pick, but it could be used down the line, maybe in a trade. So I'm not trying to rip off the Miami Heat here, but we're going to make a second trade with them. We're going to get Caleb Martin for Jay Crowder and Bismack Biyombo. Bismack wasn't even going to be in the rotation. Jay Crowder's an expiring contract at the end of this year. I know the rumors in real life for whatever reason. You know, I'm not trying to entertain that trade request right now, but Caleb Martin, 5 years younger, making less money on a multi-year deal, it makes a lot of sense for me to get this trade and get it done. So welcome to the team, Caleb Martin. We might have one more trade. If not, I'll see you guys in the rotation. Final trade here is going to be coming with the Atlanta Hawks. It is going to be Josh Okogie going over there for a first-round pick. Again, these are all assets that I'm probably going to throw in some sort of big trade at some point in time. Okogie was never going to be in the rotation. I'll take the first-round pick. It's going to have pretty much the same value, but obviously we'll have it much longer. So that's our final trade. Let's set this rotation. This team was obviously just in the finals 2 seasons ago. The main core of this team really hasn't changed a lot. So unless we find ourselves playing Luka Doncic in the Dallas Mavericks in Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals on our home floor, when almost everything was kind of in the right spot, I don't think we should have anything to worry about. But here's the rotation. All jokes aside, it's Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges. I'm horrible with names. I think it's Mikal. I hope. I know it makes me sound like a casual. Cameron Johnson, DeAndre Ayton. The bench units, it's okay. It's something we probably want to work on eventually. Caleb Martin, Dario Saric, Cameron Payne, Torrey Craig, and Landry Shamet. So it's definitely not the best bench in the world, but it's a really solid starting 5. I would imagine this team's probably no lower than a 3 seed. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. The current owner of the Phoenix Suns, Mr. Luka Doncic, takes home the MVP award here at the end of year 1 with a 38-point triple-double. Really no shock. We see it pretty much every year 1. Jabari Smith Jr., number 3 overall draft pick, takes home Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons, 6th man. I really wish they would update it just to get him in the starting 5. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Nishan Highland, Most Improved. Taylor Jenkins, Head Coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. Coach of the Year as they take the 1 seed with 57 wins. So let's take a look at the standings. We ended up as a 4 seed, but 53 wins honestly isn't too bad. You know, I think this team could hopefully be somewhere a little closer to 60, but 53 is not bad. I mean, you had 5 teams 50-plus wins. So obviously a really tough Western Conference here, and one that it's probably going to be tough to come out of and win a championship. So let's see what we can do here. Take a look at the numbers. Booker averages 30, 5 and 6. I mean, he's just ridiculous. DeAndre Ayton, 16 points, our second leading scorer, followed by Chris Paul. Double-double for him. Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Dario Saric, Campaign, Kayla Martin. Why the fuck am I speaking like this? Landry Shamet, and then Torrey Craig. Rebounds led by DeAndre Ayton, and assists was Chris Paul. So, fun matchup here in round 1 as we do have the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously lost Jalen Brunson this offseason, but Luka is obviously a 38-point triple-double MVP. So they have Christian Wood on this team now. It's still a very, very good team, and one that makes me nervous. I will say they definitely have the best player. We definitely had the better roster, though. I didn't think a sweep would happen, but nonetheless, we're moving on to round 2. And we got the Memphis Grizzlies. Really young, really up-and-coming team, and one that definitely still scares me. It's Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams. You got Tyus Jones, Clark, Colin Carter. You guys know the roster. We actually win game 1 against them. We win game 2 as well. All right, what is going on right now? Okay, we're not blowing a 3-0 lead. 2K. I don't know how many of these days in a row I can like mentally and physically take with 2K. It's like every time it wants to be nice to me, it just bends me over and just fucks me. Like, come on, what are we doing? I don't mind the Grizzlies beat me. I'm not going to sit here and get into that debate right now with you, but like, don't put me up 3-0 in every single video and then go and do something that's never happened in NBA history. Like, I mean, who's writing the scripts for this game? It's dumb. And why are the Bulls in the finals? Like, what are we doing here? Good God. Let's hit the draft lottery. Please tell me Chris Paul didn't retire. Forgot. Fuck. Well, that definitely is going to hurt us a little bit. I probably should have overridden that. Leaves a gaping hole at our point guard spot. It's the Kings, the Hornets, the Spurs, the Wizards, and then the Rockets. Oh, fun. I think Monty Williams is a good head coach. I'm not going to move on from Monty Williams, but like, we are screwed in terms of our point guard right now. I wasn't going to sit here and say Chris Paul was 100% going to be here the whole video, but like, the problem remains now that obviously his money's off the books, but we're still over the salary cap, so we can't go spend a whole lot of money in free agency to go sign somebody else, and we definitely don't have a high draft pick, that's for sure. So, yeah, we're in a little bit of a rock and a hard place right now. We have the 25th overall pick in round 1 and in round 2, and I think it's probably time to make some trades because I'm not going to be starting campaign going into next year. Okay, I just gave up a whole lot to get the number 2 overall draft pick. I honestly didn't think it was going to go through. And we acquired the number 2 overall draft pick via the Charlotte Hornets. So that now puts me in a spot to hopefully draft Scoot Henderson, who would definitely be a really good replacement here for Chris Paul. Weirdly enough, though, he sometimes goes number 1 overall. And I'm going to kind of hope that doesn't happen right now because I would much rather have Scoot Henderson fit-wise. Player-wise, I'd take Victor Wembanyama. If Henderson goes 1, we'll see what I end up doing. They take Scoot Henderson. Well, you gave me a generational prospect. I'm obviously not going to be mad about it, but it kind of puts me in a weird spot now because I obviously have DeAndre Ayton. So unless that can maybe trade for Scoot Henderson, if with the little remaining assets I even have left on this team, I just completely blew through our bench and all of our future picks. But Chris Paul really put me in a tough spot. He really did. Is there a way to maybe try to trade for Scoot Henderson? Who took him? The Kings, I think it was. No, but they'll give me De'Aaron Fox. Would I prefer De'Aaron Fox and just acquire him? No, I want Victor Wembanyama. I really do. We're gonna trade DeAndre Ayton. You know, this is not the way I thought this rebuild was going to go, but you know, I didn't want another cookie cutter rebuild. I wanted to be surprised, and surprised I am. So we are going to go ahead and look at the summary. Tyrese Proctor, and then Dylan Mitchell, Derek Whitehead, all the normal guys. I mean, we're in the second round here at this point. So Alexander Gibson, welcome to the Phoenix Suns. Hopefully you're somewhat high enough overall to maybe crack the rotation at some point. 72, it's actually not that bad. But Victor Wembanyama, obviously our priority here. Cameron Payne has to come back. I can let Haywood Highsmith go, but Cameron Payne has to come back at this point in time. We currently don't really have a point guard in the roster. So Cameron Johnson definitely needs that qualifying offer. Dwayne Washington Jr., I feel like there's probably a route. I know he was actually pretty solid for Indiana, as you can see. I feel like I remember seeing tweets about it when he actually ended up. Did he sign or did he get traded? I think he signed. I'm not 100% positive on that. But 73 overall, serviceable enough. He's been around 10 points per game before. Ultimately not here, but he has. So, something and some words that I thought were not going to be coming out of my mouth anytime soon. It's time to trade DeAndre Ayton. Let's do it. The Oklahoma City Thunder want to give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for DeAndre Ayton and a first-round pick unprotected in 2027. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is obviously going to be a huge upgrade over Cameron Payne, and he's going to be the replacement that we add here to Chris Paul. So him and Devin Booker, obviously both relatively entering their primes at 25 and 26. I'm excited to have them here. So I didn't want to start off this video with Chris Paul retiring and trading DeAndre Ayton. I had no plans of doing that, but CP3 retiring kind of put me in a tough spot. So we made do with what we had. We obviously now have a ton of free agents. I do want to bring back Cameron Johnson. Dario Saric actually played really well for us last year, so I want to bring him back as well. Frank Jackson, no. Dwayne Washington Jr., I can wait on. But ultimately, Cameron Johnson is my number one priority. I'm just going to wait because he is a restricted free agent. And Dwayne Washington, yeah. That's a trade exception. All right, we're going to wait here on Cameron Johnson through the moratorium period just so he can get an actual contract. And now we will offer him a deal. How much does he want? He wants around $16.5 million a year. It's pretty expensive for Cameron Johnson. We'll give that a year of trial and tribulation, but after that, if it's not working, we might have to move on from him at some point because that's a lot of money. So we're going to move into a 9-man rotation. Devin Booker will not have a backup. At this point in time, I would like a better backup for year one than Alexander Gibson, especially because I hate to say worse, but he's the lowest overall, him being Cam Johnson, in our starting five. So it makes me a little bit nervous, but let's look at some potential backup options. I don't even mind a guy like Alec Burks. I think he'd actually be a pretty good addition to this team. Javonte Green's also here. I definitely can't get both of them. I'm going to sign Javonte Green. That's fine by me. Do we watch? Nah, I'm just going to let him go. He was never going to play for us. So Javonte Green is here. It's actually going to let me sign Alec Burks as well. That's actually really huge, and I'm actually really happy that can happen. That actually kind of builds our bench back up a little bit. I mean, it's still not a great bench, but it's a lot better than it probably was going to be when I originally saw that Chris Paul retired. So we have a generational prospect here. We moved on from the center we drafted number 1 overall back in 2018. We added SGA. This team should hopefully be back contending in the West. I'll see you guys with the rotation at the start of year 2. We have the starting 5 playing really heavy minutes here at the start of year 2. I think this is going to give us the best chance at having a really good record, hopefully being back up high enough in the Western Conference where we can actually be considered a real contender. So here's how it looks. Kind of the new overhauled Phoenix Suns. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, and Victor Wembanyama. Not exactly what I thought I'd be saying here at the start of year 2, but I think we did a pretty good job making do with the little bit of a curveball we had thrown at us. Alec Burks, Dario Saric, Cameron Payne, and Javonte Green. As I mentioned, 9-man rotation. It's a decent bench. It's one we can maybe work on this offseason, but other than that, I'm really happy with the team. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. We went 54-28 to end year 2. I'm actually pretty happy with that record. Obviously, this team changed a ton, and I think we all kind of came together really well and made do with what we had. Luka Doncic, second straight MVP. Really no surprise there with how much 2K, for lack of a better term, dick rides him. Scoot Henderson went number 1 overall to the Sacramento Kings. We would have liked to have had him here. I'm very happy with Victor Wembanyama, but he was the guy I was originally targeting to draft. Jaden Ivey, 6th man of the year in Detroit. Giannis wins Depoy. Jonathan Kuminga, most improved. Ime Udoka, head coach of the Boston Celtics. They go 62-20, and he takes home coach of the year. So let's take a look. Wow, that we are actually tied for the 1 seed here in the West. At least I won't have to play the Grizzlies till the Western Conference Finals. That being if we even get there. Let's take a look at the numbers and see how it was done. Led in scoring, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually, I can't fucking speak today, took over, led us in scoring. Then it was Devin Booker, Victor Wembanyama, 18 and 11. I mean, obviously had a really impressive rookie debut season. Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne, Mikal Bridges, Dario Saric, Burks, and then Javonte Green. Rebounds was led by Victor Wembanyama, and assists was Shai. So, first round here in the Western Conference playoffs, and of course, Dallas Mavericks. I mean, we swept them last year. You know, you like to hope and think you can do the same thing. It looks like they do not have Christian Wood anymore, so it's basically Luka and, Dinwiddie and some role players. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I meant to hit sim game. I'm dumb as hell. We're down 2-1 right now. We tied up at 2 games apiece. We go down 3-2, and we're going to game 7, and wow, something finally goes right for me. Here comes Denver in round 2. Jamal Murray, Kobe White, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. Interesting collection of players put together there. We're 1-1 with them here in the Western Conference semifinals. We go up 3-1, and we're into the Western Conference finals, taking on the 5-seeded Portland Trailblazers. Interesting little redemption arc that they have made. Damian Lillard. Oh, my phone is ringing. I'll be back. I don't even know if the mic was able to pick that up in my new apartment. It sounds like a phone. I didn't mean to say phone. It's actually my front door. It's Amazon every time I drop something off. All right, Portland Trailblazers here. Western Conference Finals. Dame, Keontae George, Nasir Little, Jeremy Grant, Andre Drummond. They got Simons as their sixth man. They still have Nurkic. Interesting, they start Drummond over Nurkic. Bold move. Hard. Okay, so really deep bench there. That's probably helping them out a ton. I mean, they are a 5 seed, so pretty good. We're up 3-0, and 2K is dealing with me today. Jason Tatum, Finals MVP of the Eastern Conference. Well, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. My God. West. All right. My Celtics are a very good team. I know that. I really am nervous to kind of play them here. It looks like Marcus Smart is on the bench now. Interesting. We do win game 1. This is like the one time I want the Celtics to not win a finals is when I'm playing them and we're down 3-1 and we lose in 5. Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP. If somehow the Celtics probably came back and beat the Warriors last year in the finals, he probably would have been the one receiving that award as well. Let's hit the draft lottery. We obviously don't have any picks because we kind of traded all of them to get the number 2 overall pick last year. So let's sim the lottery. It is the Pelicans, the Magic, the Rockets, the Pelicans again, and the Jazz. I'm surprised we haven't even run into the Pelicans yet. Monty Williams not going to go anywhere. I think he's a good coach. Let's head up to the NBA draft and see if we maybe have like a later pick, but I can't even imagine that we really do. And, we got 28 in round 2. I don't really care or really need it. So, Robert Fields. I'm good, man. All right, team player options. Alexander, I should have sent him to the G League. That probably would have been smart. Actually, might try to find a way to get him in the rotation. Devon Reed, not going to get that qualifying. I think what we're probably going to focus on right now, and I hate to say it, is I want to get Cameron Payne back, is I might actually look for an upgrade at our starting power forward spot. And, I like Cameron Johnson. I just think if we're going to look for an upgrade anywhere, it's probably going to be there. So let's see if we can find that trade. We're going to try to get John Collins here from the Atlanta Hawks. In my opinion, he's a clear upgrade here over Cameron Johnson. We'd throw Alec Burks in there to make the money work. I'd probably rather give up Burks than Saric, if I'm being honest. So, do you want to do it? Nope, didn't think so. How about I give you 2 of the remaining picks I have left? I would rather not give up 3. How about a couple seconds instead? You interested in some second-round picks here? And they are. So, John Collins, welcome here to the Phoenix Suns. We have the majority of this team filled out. I actually think I'm going to give Alexander Gibson some minutes. Might just move Javonte Green down to the the backup small forward spot. Actually goes down. Now I'll trade him. I will find a new backup small forward, and then we are pretty much going to call it. And we're going to go into the 3rd year, hopefully winning a finals this time. Obviously, we lost last year. Let's see. Give me a small forward. Marjon Beauchamp. Actually, 8 and 5. That's actually not too bad. I may actually do that. We might add Marjon Beauchamp to this team. Let's go ahead and do that. Marjon Beauchamp, welcome to the Phoenix Suns, going to be coming off the bench. Honestly, may actually even be my 6th man. See you guys at the start of the 3rd and final year. It is the 3rd and final season for us here in Phoenix. Very similar to last year. We're going really heavy minutes to the starters. It carried us all the way to the finals, and then we just couldn't quite get it done against a really talented Celtics team. But I think this might be the core that just puts us over the edge. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Devin Booker and Bridges, John Collins, and Victor Wembanyama. The bench unit campaign actually going to take over that 6-man spot, followed by Dario Saric, Marjon Beauchamp, and then Alexander Gibson, who we obviously drafted in the 2nd round of the 2023 draft. Going to get some backup power forward minutes. I like it. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. Not going to lie, kind of missed out on the whole record thing. My bad, unfortunately. I was not paying attention while the season was simming. Luka wins a 3rd MVP. Just give me some sort of variety here, 2K. DJ Wagner, Rookie of the Year in Miami, was number 10 overall draft pick. Jaden Ivey, 6th Man of the Year, 2nd straight season. Bam Adebayo, Defensive Player of the Year. Chuma Ukiki, Most Improved. Monty Williams. Oh, wow, we went 61-21. Our best record yet. I 100% will take that. Of course, it does not mean shit if we do not win a finals. So, let's see if we can make that happen. Led in points by Devin Booker. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, kind of our big 3, if you will. John Collins, Cameron Page, Mikal Bridges, Dario Saric, Marjon Beauchamp. What's his first name? Alexander Gibson. Rebounds was Victor, and assists was Shai. So, round 1. Houston Rockets. Kevin Porter Jr., I'm surprised. I see Kyrie Irving sign with them a lot, but instead they signed Tingus Pingus. See if we can get by the Houston Rockets. I want to do a Rockets rebuild soon. We're 1-1 with them right now. We're down 2-1. I mean, okay, they blew a 3-1 lead. I swear 2K23 is like on some other shit and like with some of this stuff. Like, I don't really know. Like, so I think I see probably at least once a playoff run, some team blowing either a 3-1 or a 3-0 lead. Like, you just never feel secure. And like, look, I get it's the NBA, but like, I don't need to see it every single time I do a rebuild because there's no way it happens every single season. You know what I'm saying? But that's 2K for you. We are going back to the NBA Finals. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins Western Conference Finals MVP. Darius Garland wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So the Cavs definitely scare me. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, two really good backcourts going against each other here. Victor Oladipo, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, really good front court as well. I want a championship, and I want one really bad. We're up 2-1 here against the Cavs. They tie it up at 2 games apiece. Big game 5, and we win. Big game 6, and we win. Holy shit, thank the goddamn Lord. All right, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Finals MVP. We get the Phoenix Suns, their first championship in the history of their franchise. My God, that should not have been that stressful. We obviously got a huge curveball thrown at us when Chris Paul just went and retired at age 37, 38, whatever it was. And then we traded DeAndre Ayton. And, like, yeah, it was a tough spot, but I'm really happy with the way we kind of battled back and ultimately really made a good, really fun team. So, thank you, Suns fans. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any other video ideas, feel free to comment them down below. Yeah, on the lookout for video ideas. So whatever you guys got. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.